Hello students, welcome to Edipom EdTech. You're watching Expert Chemistry Lectures with Abhinav Gaur. Today in this lecture, we will study the classification of crystalline solids. So as discussed in the previous lecture, crystalline solids are divided into four different categories. The first category is molecular crystalline solid. The second category is ionic crystalline solid. The third category is metallic crystalline solid, and the fourth category is network or covalent crystalline solids. So first of all, what are molecular crystalline solids? These molecular crystalline solids are those solids in which two particles are held together by molecular forces. Now, these molecular forces are of three types. First, we have the non-polar molecular forces such as London force or dispersion force. We have polar molecular forces such as dipole-dipole force and dipole-induced dipole force. We have hydrogen bonding. Okay, so if the two particles are held together by non-polar forces such as London force or dispersion force, then the particle is called as non-polar molecular crystalline solid. Whereas if polar forces exist between the two particles, then the solid is called as polar molecular crystalline solid. And if two particles are held together by means of hydrogen bonding, then they are called as hydrogen bonded molecular solids. And students, we know that non-polar forces are weaker than polar forces, which are weaker than hydrogen bonding. So the hydrogen bonded solids are more hard than the non-polar and the polar. Okay. Now next we have the ionic solids. As we know, in case of ionic solids, there are two types of ions present. The first is the positively charged cation and the second is the negatively charged anion. So, electrostatic interaction between the two opposite charge is seen. So, we say when two particles are held together by electrostatic attraction, then the solid is called as ionic crystalline solid. Then we have metallic crystalline solid. These are usually made up of metals. They may have coordinate covalent bond present between them. Example, iron, nickel, cobalt, and etc. Okay, these are metallic in nature. Then we have network or covalent solid. In this case, covalent bond exists between the two constituent particles. So if the particles are held together by covalent bond or covalent forces and a large network is formed, then the solids are called as network crystalline solids. Okay. Now we will study more about the properties and the example. So let me insert the image. Okay, so now it is visible to all of us. First of all, we have the molecular solids, non-polar, polar and hydrogen bonded. The constituent particles are molecules. Okay, the constituent particles are molecules. In case of non-polar, dispersion or London force exists. In case of polar, dipole-dipole as well as dipole-induced dipole interactions exist. In case of hydrogen bonded, the hydrogen bonding exists. Example, H2 dihydrogen, that means diiodide CCl4 carbon tetrachloride. Example of polar, HCl SO2. Example of hydrogen bonded, ice. Okay, please remember this example, that ice is an example of hydrogen bonded molecular crystalline solid. Okay, they are soft, they are also soft, and they are hard. They are insulators, and they are also insulators. That means all molecular solids are insulators. Okay, they have very low melting point, whereas these two have low melting point. Now the ionic solid. First of all, the constituent particles are ions. They may be cations and they may be anions. The force of attraction is the electrostatic force. Example, NaCl, KCl, NaBr, and there are lot more examples. They are hard, okay? They are hard as compared to non-polar and polar. They are hard, okay? They are insulator in the solid state, but in molten state as well as in the aqueous state they are conducting. Okay, I'm giving you one example. For example, you have NaCl. Now this NaCl is solid, and in this solid state it is non-conducting. But if I am dissolving this NaCl in a solvent such as water, this Na will break into Na positive and Cl negative. So now in aqueous state it is conducting due to the presence of ions. Ions carry charge. Okay, as well as if I am increasing the temperature of NaCl and NaCl is getting into the liquid state, that means in the molten state. So in the molten state, due to presence of charges, it will be conducting again. So ionic solids are non-conducting in solid state, but in aqueous state as well as in molten state they are conducting. They usually have high melting point. Now metallic solids, they consist of a sea of electron. That means they consist of large number of free electrons, and thus they are conducting in nature. Okay, the force of attraction is metallic bonding. Example, iron, copper. They have high melting point and they are hard. Now we have covalent or network solids. The constituent particles are atoms. The bonding is covalent bonding. Example, SiO2. Example, diamond. Example, graphite. Okay, the covalent solids are hard, and they are so much hard that they are brittle in nature, and there is one exception, and that exception is the exception of graphite. Other than graphite, all the network solids are hard. Okay, they are insulator in nature and they have very high melting point. So this is all that we need to know about the classification of crystalline solid. Now we will study the exception behavior of graphite. The question is that graphite, although it is a covalent crystalline solid and it should be hard as well as it should be non-conducting, but why the graphite is soft and why graphite is conducting? So first of all, I will tell you why graphite is conducting. In the structure of graphite, each carbon atom is associated with 3 carbon atoms, and the fourth valency is vacant. That means a free electron is present. And because of the presence of this free electron, graphite become conductive. Now why graphite is soft? Graphite is soft because between the constituent layers of carbon, gap is present and these layers can slide over one another, and because of the gap and the ability of layers to slide over one another, it becomes soft, as well as it is also a good lubricant. Okay, it is also a good lubricant. So let us study the structure of graphite to understand the concept in a better way. So this is the structure of graphite. I hope it is clear and visible. Okay, so we can see that each carbon atom is associated to 3 other carbon atom. For example, this is my carbon atom, this is my given carbon atom. Okay, this is associated to this 1 carbon atom, this 2 carbon atom, and this 3 carbon atom. And the fourth valency is vacant, that consists of a free electron. Okay, similarly, see, this carbon is associated to this carbon, and this carbon directly. Okay, and the fourth valency is free again. So because of the presence of free electrons, it is conducting, and as there is a gap between two constituent layers, a gap of 340 picometers, So these layers can slide over one another, and because they can slide over one another, it becomes soft as well as it becomes a good lubricant. So this is all about the classification of crystalline solid. Thank you.